What's going on, everybody? It's GhostProdigy and welcome back to another Elden Ring PVP video. Except this time it's a little different because we're gonna be fighting some invaders. That's plural for many of them. Many of them, many of them, many of them. And of course my buddy Whip was in here with me. You know, having a little bit of fun. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Because what I really want to talk about is the state of PvP in Elden Ring. And pretty much how it's dying. So the other day whenever I was recording that video for the Beastman Cleaver, I noticed something had changed. And it was probably because I hadn't played in a while, maybe like a couple days. But when I went to go summon people to PvP, there was like barely any summon signs. There was like 2 or 3, and I found it kind of weird because the whole reason I even play at level 135 and not higher is because I want to get as many summons as possible. So 135 can get people anywhere from like 127 I think to maybe like 160, so that I could have variety when I play. But this time around there was barely any signs, and I found that oddly odd. And I just found this jarring due to the fact that you cannot compare 3 or 4 summon signs to whenever there was 15 or 20 at once, you know. That just means that a lot less people are playing this game. And what that means is that, well, Elden Ring is dying. And of course, I mean, it's been a couple months now. The game is no longer at its, you know, peak as it once was. I mean, it took over the internet at one point. But you know what? That happens, you know. A game comes out, people love it, they get, you know, they play the shit out of it, and then they get bored of it. And I think a big reason in as to why that is because there just hasn't been any announcement for any DLC, which we're all desperately waiting for. And so I can see how after passing this game 3 or 4 times, a lot of people have just, you know, lost interest in the game and put it down and no longer want to play. And you can really only go through this game so many times before it gets boring. And I've only gone to it like 3 times and I'm pretty much done with it. I've done everything so much that like I don't want to do it anymore. So what's left? PvP. That's pretty much this game's like afterlife after you pass it, because that's what keeps you coming back, right? Is to prove how good you can be against other players, which I mean is basically the whole basis of my channel, you know. It's just so much fun, but it's dying, which really sucks because despite what all the OG Dark Souls players have to say about this game sucking or not being as good, it's still a very good game in comparison, and it's still very fun. And that's, you know, coming from me, someone who's been playing these games since Dark Souls 2. I've played Bloodborne 3, Sekiro. I think the only one that I haven't played is Demon Souls. I played Dark Souls 1, and I love this game. It's so much fun. And so it's kind of sad to see the player base, you know, being reduced again due to the fact that I just feel like people just aren't excited anymore. The hype is over, and the only real way to bring that back is with DLC. I believe that in order for this DLC to really cement itself and bring back a lot of hype to this game is for it to bring back arenas like we had in Dark Souls 3, like we had in Dark Souls 2. I strongly feel that if they do this, it will guarantee that even after people complete the game and the DLC, they will keep coming back to this game because there will be an incentive to play against other people, right? Take a look at what Dark Souls 3 did. That was so good. The arena that they brought with that first DLC, the Ariandel, was amazing, and it brought back a lot of players. It rejuvenated the PvP scene, the YouTube scene, and it's pretty much what kept that game alive, honestly. And that's what FromSoft needs to do in Elden Ring. They need to bring that back to keep it alive, because like I said, PvP is what keeps Elden or Dark Souls-like games alive after they're completed. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm gonna cut to a video that I recently did on Dark Souls 3 where I pretty much explain what that arena system was. Alright guys, so this is what Elden Ring needs. For all you guys that are new to the series and have only really been playing Elden Ring, this is Dark Souls 3, and what Dark Souls 3 had was this Firelink Shrine, which is basically the round table hold, but it had this. You sit down at the bonfire, right, and you go to Undead Match, and guess what? You get to duel people from here. You get to pick duels. There was 2v2s, 4v4, 6v6, there was brawl groups, there was 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, co-op matches where you could just play with your buddies. Man, this this is what Elden Ring needs, man, because you could also choose from this arena, that arena, this arena, this one, or just random in between all four, and you could put passwords as well to match up with your friends and stuff. This is what Elden Ring is missing, guys. Like this right here, man. Here's to FromSoft hopefully implementing this mechanism into Elden Ring, because it needs it, man. It really does. I'm tired of summoning people and getting that unable to summon sign message, you know. But see, now how cool is that, and how awesome would it be for Elden Ring to have a system like this? No more unable to summon, you know, trying to summon people for like 3 minutes only to summon somebody with rivers of blood. Well, maybe not rivers of blood anymore, but moon veil, and get chunked twice and then you dead, or get bled out in 2 hits, you know. And I mean, take a look at what's going on right now. Yes, I have a friend with me, and no, we're not ganking, and I mean maybe a little bit, you know, but technically, you know, well, here's what we're doing. We're waiting for an invader to come in, and if it's one invader, then we'll 1v1 him, and then once it's 2, then everything goes, man. And it's so much fun to play like this, because it's, you know, it's you and your buddy trying to beat up 2 other people. And in Dark Souls, there was literally a game mode like that, where it was 2 versus 2, where you and a buddy could team up versus maybe someone else, you know, also teaming up, and you guys would just have a brawl, because it would be respawns. Obviously there would be no heals, but it was just so much fun, and it would just add an extra element, an extra fun factor to Elden Ring that it just doesn't currently have, unless you're doing this, which a lot of people are probably gonna be like, oh, you're ganking, and then okay, yeah, a little bit, but we're just trying to have more fun, because playing with friends, you can only, like I said, pass the game so many times, and you can only face each other so many times before it just becomes stale. And I feel like at least I'm at that point with my friends, and so now we've you know, resorted to this, summoning invaders and just trying to see how many we can take out together. And it's a lot of fun, man. Like I said, we're not really ganking. We're not just going ham on one dude. We'll 1v1 him. If another invader comes in, then it's a 2v2, and it just automatically becomes way more interesting and way more fun, because opposed to ganking is also very boring. Like, what's the point of just summoning somebody and then just both of you just killing them in 1 second? That's not fun either. That's not what we're going for. What we're going for is to have crazy, chaotic fights, you know, where it's like a lot of tense moments. Like this fight, there was a moment where I got stuck in the tombstones and I almost died, and I somehow survived, managed to dodge the enemy's, you know, weapon art, and it somehow saved me, and I survived, and I came back and I killed them, and it was thrilling, and you know, so much fun, especially, like I said, you're partied up with your buddies, and it's just so much fun. But another thing that I would also like for the DLC to bring is Covenants, because Covenants will also increase the amount of PvP activity, because in Covenants, what you basically did was you join a covenant, and there's a bunch of them, right? And some of them are opposing each other, which means that if you fight each other in PvP and you beat each other, because you're an opposing sides, you get a reward for killing the other side, and in turn you could turn those rewards into stuff like weapons or armor sets or spells that you then turn into your covenant leader. You know, say you kill 10 of the red guys and you're in the blue covenant. Now you got 10, you know, whatever, the tongues, like the tongues was in Dark Souls 3, or the vertebrae, and you turn those in, and now you got a new spell. You turn 30 of those in, now you got a new weapon. You turn 50 of those in, now you got a new armor set. That would just give it so much incentive to do invasions, to do PvP, and it would just bring back so much needed life into this game. It would just be amazing. But that's gonna do it for my rant, guys. If you guys enjoyed what you guys watched, please make sure to leave a like rating on the video. Comment down below what you guys' thought is and what you guys want or would like for the DLC to be. Obviously, I want a big, huge area with a bunch of weapons and stuff like that. But mainly what I want is for this PvP system or something similar to it to be implemented into this game. It's just, they have to do it if they really want to keep this game alive and for it to keep on thriving for the next couple of years, like Dark Souls 3 pretty much did for like 5 years straight, you know. But as always, this has been your boy GhostProdigy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.